Hey, everybody. Happy holidays. Hanukkah begins tomorrow night. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All that good stuff. This is the final pre-CNN show conversation of the year because today is my last CNN program until 2023 because of the way in which Christmas and New Year fall, meaning that it's, next Saturday is Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve is the following week thereafter. So I'm off both of those days. I want to thank especially the very loyal group of you who are here live in comparison to the many who then watch it thereafter. So thanks for getting up so early with me on a Saturday morning. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you about what's coming up on today's program, but let's make some important decisions first, okay? Want to be a little festive. So, dragged out this sport coat. Can you see it? And I'm going with the blue today instead of my typical white. I'm not sure why I selected the blue because the ties pop better on the white. But here come your choices as advertised. I'm looking for your votes according to the following labels: dogs, poinsettia. You don't even have to spell it correctly, or paisley. Okay, here we go. So here's the dog option. Not even sure whose tie this is. It's nice. I would only wear it this time of year. Paul Stewart, thank you. Okay, so there's the dog option. They look like Labradors, but I'm not sure, okay? So that's the dog option. You get a good look? Okay, it's not really a poinsettia, but that's what I'm calling it just for ease. I'm looking at your comments. TC, are you keeping track of all of this, please? It's pronounced poinsettia. Who said that, Jim? Okay. Hey, Jim, did you spell it right? Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah. Poinsettia. La Boheme. It's an opera. All right, here comes your paisley choice. You ready for the paisley? Oh, TC says she's keeping close track. Okay, good. Here's your paisley choice. Let me lean in. Paisley, dog, poinsettia. Okay, is there consensus? See, I think some of you are swayed by poinsettia because of me labeling it as such. If I said potted plant, what would you say? By the way, for those who are vain, it's a Ferragamo. Let me see what the paisley is. I don't know. Some guy I never heard of. Is there consensus? Right. Bill Doherty thinks it's weed. You can never go wrong with dog, says Brian Mackey. I agree with that. Harvey, color coordination is wise. Yeah, Harvey, but it scrolled past so quickly. I don't know which one you chose. Red tie, says William Mosley. The others will blend in too much. Dogs are fun, says Melissa Turk. Ranked choice voting, Jamal. Okay, Jamal, ranked choice voting. Paisley followed by the dogs. That is hysterical. Ranked choice voting. By the way, this is an open primary. Oh, yes, this is an open primary. Democrats can vote, Republicans can vote, and so too can independents. EJ, Ukrainian tie is needed. True, but not today. You can't see the dogs. I think you can in HD. There'll be a curiosity, won't they? Change the tie at every break, says Christopher Style. That is so funny. Oh, yeah. Joe Ports, did you buy any of those from Kirsten Cinema? Hey, you guys are a funny bunch. That is really great. Okay, TC, are you going to tell me like what is, I want to lay this off on her and then the disappointment can be directed in her. The independent votes for poinsettia, says Robert. Will there be an expensive runoff if no one gets 50% plus one? Great comment, William. That is funny. Connie, the $99 one. Yeah, they probably all were. How about going sans tie, Sean Nichols? Nah, that's not my thing, not my style. It doesn't look right if I try and pull that off. Okay, bottom line, TC. Paisley best with the jacket. Really? Poinsettia the most festive. Okay, so no dogs. Are you sure we're getting rid of the dogs? I kind of fancy the dogs. I know. I gotta get to work. Yeah, you're right. This is going on too long. Going on too long. The Paisley, let me look at it one more time. Paisley. Paisley's pretty cool, you know, green, holiday, trees. No dog tie, wrong color. Robert Britchko. I kind of dig it. Okay. I don't know. I now my eyes are blurring. I will have to take a look at what you're all saying, hopefully while I'm getting my noggin powdered. That scrambled me. What are we doing today? Well, a number of different things. Some oldies but goodies, some newbies as well. You heard the news, I'm sure, that now the January 6th committee is going to meet on Monday and take a vote and recommend or refer charges, criminal charges against Donald Trump to the Justice Department. The surprise here, I guess, is that insurrection will be one of them. It'll be insurrection. It will be obstruction of an official proceeding. It'll be conspiracy to defraud the government. Here's what's most important. None of that is binding. None of that is binding on the Justice Department and Special Counsel Jack Smith. In fact, if anything, it may complicate the job of Jack Smith and Merrick Garland because it makes it increasingly political and provides interference of sorts. You know, it's like they want to make a decision based on the facts, at least they should be. But I have to talk about it. Monday will be the vote. Wednesday, they will then release their report because, of course, this will be the end of the January 6th committee when the Republicans take control of the House in January. So final kind of business week of the year, but it'll be a busy week. It's been a lousy couple of weeks for Donald Trump when you stop and think about the dining with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West, when you think about his family business being convicted on all counts in that New York trial, when you think about Herschel Walker, his handpicked candidate, having lost, and others. The midterms did not go well for Trump. It wasn't just Herschel, but Herschel was the most visible of the Trump candidates who lost this cycle. More classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. There's a really interesting 3D Mar-a-Lago presentation in the New York Times that you should check out online if you're interested in that. And then something that cuts a couple of different ways is the NFT card released by Trump, which is one thing, except it was his big announcement. Like that was going to be the big announcement. Although I have to say, you know, we can sort of stifle our laughter by the idea or the knowledge that they all sold out within 24 hours and they started at $99 and sold in the thousands in some cases. And he put a quick mill in his pocket, which is what matters most to him. He's laughing all the way to the bank. Today's poll question at Smerconish.com, is he going to rebound from this? Politically speaking, he's had a spate of bad luck, bad fortune, all of his own doing. Is he going to recover politically from this? Make sure you go to Smerconish.com and cast a ballot on that question. By the way, speaking of things that I want to make sure that I tell you, I'm really pleased. I'm going to mention it midstream today, and I hope that's okay. I'm really pleased to congratulate my friend Steve Cordasco and his wife Kelly. You've heard me talk about this on radio and what they're doing for the National Veterans Cemetery, actually the guardians of the National Veterans Cemetery in my native Bucks County. There is a sculptress hard at work in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, preparing a 9-foot bronze statue of General George Washington that's going to be erected in the National Cemetery in Washington's Crossing on a 3-foot pedestal. So it's going to be giant. And it's going to look like what they have at the Freedoms Foundation out in Valley Forge if you've been there. And Steve and Kelly are ponying up $25K as a match for any contributions that come in. So 'tis the season, and if you want to do right by a charity at the end of the year, make it this one. Go to guardiansofthenationalcemetery.org to learn more. Guardiansofthenationalcemetery.org. Good job, Steve, Kelly. Okay, what else? Well, Title 42 is going to expire next Wednesday on the 21st. A federal judge in an 11th hour bid by, I have to make this observation, by Republican states that want to keep it. And here's the observation that I have to make. This is a COVID restriction, right? This is a public health law. In other words, the premise here is that Title 42 allows keeping out of the country people with communicative diseases. So it's only premised on the pandemic. And it's like the one COVID restriction that many Republicans want to keep. They don't want to keep any COVID restrictions except Title 42, but not from a public health basis, but because, and I think that there's a legitimate concern here. I don't wish to minimize it. I'm just pointing out, like, this is not the right law to use to do that. So Title 42 is going to expire next Wednesday. Here's a question. If Title 42, and I'm going to ask this of Brandon Judd, who heads the union for all of the workers on the border, meaning our Customs and Border Patrol agents. If Title 42 makes it easier to expel migrants, why are so many migrants trying to get into the country now in El Paso instead of waiting for after next Wednesday when Title 42 goes away? Now, you got to really be in the weeds to know the answer to that question. There is an answer to that question, but it's a pretty damn good question, isn't it? And I haven't heard anybody ask it on TV. If Title 42 going away takes this great enforcement power from our government, that if you're a migrant and you're knowledgeable about this, and they are, why don't you wait until after next Wednesday? Why are you in El Paso today? Watch the show today. We'll get to the answer to that question. This was the talker of the week on radio this week. The talker of the week on radio this week had nothing to do with Elon Musk or Donald Trump or the border. No, it had to do with these folks, the Crouches of Maryland. These are the people who turned their front lawn into a pollinator meadow. That's what they call it, meaning they think they're doing the right thing by the environment. I don't know that anybody disputes that. I shouldn't say they think. They're doing right by the environment, but it doesn't match our conventional idea of what a lawn is supposed to look like. And the guy next door says, hey, it looks like a jungle over there, and our property values are all going to tank. The HOA, the Homeowners Association, sends a letter and says, you got to keep your lawn neat and clean. And they fought, spent $60,000 on legal fees, fought and won. They fought the lawn, and the lawn won. Well, no, they fought and established a new law in Maryland where a homeowners association cannot dictate that you need to grow grass. It's part of a big movement nationwide that just really reached its focal point in the Maryland case. They will be my guest on CNN today. So far we've got Trump being, referred for charges. We've got the border situation with Brandon Judd, Jeff and Janet Crouch. You know that I love P-22, the mountain lion that made its way into Griffith Park in Los Angeles after crossing 2 freeways. That's the most important and impressive part of the story. And I want to talk about P-22 with a woman who has named Beth Pratt, who's been a guest of mine before and has made this her cause. And then a commentary today, not at the outset of the program, but within the program, on Paul Pelosi. The more that I look at this story, the more taken I am with his amazing response to someone clearly unstable who broke into his house, threatening him, wanting to do harm to his wife. The way in which he deftly, that's the word I'll use, managed that situation needs to be spoken about. And I'm going to make the case that we all get to hear the 911 call that he made and see the body cam video from the cops who responded, because I think that could go a long way to silencing the conspiracy theorists. I don't know. I'll get my lingo together by the time I get on TV. Among us, who, just love taking a nugget of information and whipping it into some fantastical story. Like, hey, did you hear he was in his underwear? Well, you heard me say on radio, you come into my house at that hour, you'll be lucky if I'm in my underwear. Like, what does that mean? Nothing. It would have been strange if he weren't in his underwear. So that's the show. That is my final CNN broadcast of 2022. And I'll be back in January, 1 week after. What would the date be? I guess it would be like the 6th. And already looking forward to that. Okay. Did we make a decision? Did we make a decision? Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to watch. Sorry, I don't know which one I'm going to go with. If I knew, I would tell you right now. I need a moment to decompress and to take a look at all of your suggestions. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you're celebrating, I'm for you. Make it healthy and happy, and see me here on a Saturday in January when we do it all over again. Of course, on radio all this coming week, with live YouTube Monday through Friday. But for the Saturday version, this is all she wrote. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Tune in CNN, and we'll find out which one works. See you, gang.